waving it around nimbly. And guys, every one of these directions is safe, by the way. So there's a concrete building backed inside of a hill. So that's why we can do dry fire practice in here. But they're waving their direction around, or their gun around nimbly. So that's a huge problem. So really, we want to pretend like there's always that laser beam coming out, which means that when I'm down here and my gun is ready and stacked up, it should not be pointing at my feet, my knees, my legs, anything like that, right? When I'm dropping it to get a retention grip or to extend out and fire, whatever it is, right? At that point in time, I'm engaging that threat, right? Obviously, I'm going to cross them with my weapon. Now, here's the rule with any of these safety rules. It is very difficult to carry my gun on a daily basis without flagging myself with that barrel, right? Because I carry an appendix carry position, which means right here, I'm flagging everything on myself with that barrel, right? Even if I carry in a hip holster, right, I'm flagging myself as I tuck that into that hip holster. If I carry in a underarm shoulder holster, right, I'm flagging everybody behind me with that gun, right? So here's the deal. When we say don't point the barrel at anything that you're not willing to destroy, at that point in time, we're assuming that you're actively using the firearm, handling the firearm. If that gun is sitting there on a table, right, not a big deal. Go to any gun show in this country. You cannot walk through a gun show without having weapons pointed at you. It's physically impossible to do because they have so many guns in there. They're all pointing across at each other. There's just no way to do it. And so the idea here is that we try to stay away from the muzzle at all possible. But really, whenever somebody is handling that weapon, then that's when that muzzle discipline really kind of comes into play. So when we put a gun inside of a holster or we put it inside of a bag, at that point in time, as a society, we kind of render that gun safe. And so then we kind of accept that the gun is going to be pointed at people, right? Because if I put a gun in a gun rack or in a lockbox in my truck, as I'm driving down the road, I am inadvertently flagging people as I come down the road. So we have to keep that in mind, that it's impossible to never point it at anything, but we're trying not to point it at things, obviously, while we're actively handling the firearm. So that's your second safety rule.